An incomprehensibly tiny speck floating through vast emptiness and chaos. Are we really so arrogantly egocentric as to look up at the night sky and assume that it's all made for us? Is that really a crutch we need to make it through the day? Starting in extreme conditions, humans and our ancient non-human ancestors adapted to this planet as it cooled. Those of us who couldn't live long enough to reproduce were lost along the way. We have evolved to survive here, fine-tuning ourselves to this planet, not the other way around. We have fought tooth and nail to get to where we are. That's all the more reason to cherish this life and not squander it or destroy the only home we have. I put out a video like...
So here's the last clip where he talks about first just kind of like it's so like egocentric to kind of base this kind of like worldview around ourselves, and then he talks about like, oh, we just evolved. So what are your thoughts here, Dr. Strauss, in this final clip we're looking at?
Yeah, it's funny. He says we're not very important, but look at how great we are because we've survived, right? So it's kind of interesting. Yeah, again, he's just wrong. I mean, it is true that we adapt to our environment. There's no question about that. But the possible environments that carbon-based life, the only possible life in this universe, can adapt to are extremely, extremely narrow. You cannot have carbon-based life, living on Venus. It can't happen. And so, for him to make that claim is just, it's wrong. It's incorrect. It is true we've adapted to this environment, but carbon-based life, the only kind of life possible in this universe, cannot adapt to anything but extremely narrow ranges. And then I find it interesting that, we're nothing important, but we've survived, so we really are important. And then you've missed the last part of the clip where he pleads people to send him money. And I really want, I do videos and I give talks and I don't plead for anybody to give me any money. You're not going to give me any money for doing this, right? I mean, it's just, you wonder what's the motivation? If he really is passionate about this, why does he have to ask people for money? I don't know the answer to that. And so, I found that interesting. After all this, he says, he has a, I won't go into that. But anyway, again, this idea that the only reason we can live on Earth is because we've adapted to it is just ridiculous. It discounts everything we know about the requirements necessary to support higher life forms based on carbon. Mm-hmm. And again, it's naive. There's a partial truth to that one. The partial truth is, yes, we do adapt to this very narrow range of possibilities of an Earth-like planet.
I think it's helpful to remember here, like with the fine-tuning argument, it's not just dealing with like, say, like just like having a planet with life, but it's like we need all these things to go right to have a possibility first of a planet with life. Like we need like these complex molecules and like the right size universe and the right size initial conditions. Like all these things need to go right to where we get to this Earth in the first place, and then more things have to go right. Like the fine-tuning isn't just like one thing. There's many different factors at play here with regards to the fine-tuning argument.
Absolutely. There's one other thing he said that's related to that. He talked about maybe the universe has expanded and contracted, and there's a lot of universes, but there's something called the entropy problem of the universe that basically discounts that. Sean Carroll even admits that. He says it's very hard to solve the entropy problem. In one of his blogs or something, he lists 5 possibilities for the origin of the universe, and 4 of them he discounts as a thoughtful atheist because they don't solve the entropy problem. And everything we know from science about an expanding, collapsing universe can't work due to entropy. Now, again, you can speculate maybe there's physics that we don't know, atheism of the gaps, that would solve the problem, but the problem remains. So again, this was a naive statement when he throws out the fact he doesn't understand the much research that has been done on the possibility or lack of possibility of an oscillating universe.